Happy Monday, everyone. So I think we're going to get started like punctually today because I've got like this flood of 20,000 emails with questions about assignment 1 over the last few days. So I thought I would start addressing all of the excitement, the assignment 1 excitement. Look, stack of 20,000 questions right here. First one is, I have used both Tableau and IBM Watson Analytics to create 2 visual designs. I'm struggling to find another good free tool to use. I have tried the other tools suggested in the coursework document and tried some others using a collection of tools, but I cannot seem to get them to work. I am not sure if I'm using these tools incorrectly by adding the wrong data to them. I have tried both Excel and CSV files. Could you suggest a tool that I could use, please? Any advice is appreciated. Thank you. So one of the tools, that anybody could try and already has tried is Excel itself. So Excel has some more advanced visual designs already in there. I think it has treemaps now, from what I heard already. And it has some other things like area charts and all that stuff. So that's another possibility, right? Kind of an easy, low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. Hi Bob, I'm trying to put together a 3D scatter plot. Would it count as one of my 3 tools if I were to plot this directly from a CSV file using Python? The answer to that is yes. Also, further to the previous question, is it okay to use a 2D scatter plot with trend lines as well as a 3D scatter plot for them to count as 2 different visual designs? The answer is yes again. It's not very exciting, but yes, the answer is yes. Just make sure on the 3D one that you can show some rotation. It's very important to be able to rotate a 3D visual space. Dear Bob, I just wanted to check that the visualizations in part 2 of the assignment have to be different to the ones in part 1. For example, if I produce a scatterplot matrix for part 1, could I then do a scatterplot matrix for part 2? I have seen the assignment brief, it states 2 additional visual designs, but I just wanted to check. You may repeat visual designs in part 2. So you can use a scatterplot matrix in part 1 and part 2. So part 2, the data set changes, but the visual designs don't have to change. Okay, I have currently done 3 different visual designs using different tools on 3 separate data sets. Is this correct? Or am I meant to create 5 different visual designs on the same data set? For example, 5 different visualizations for diabetes. I hope I haven't wasted time visualizing different data sets. I hope it's pretty clear in the assignment description. So the assignment description says 1 data set for part 1 and 3 different visual designs. However, you can use more than 1 data set for part 1. It's allowed. The minimum requirements are 1 data set, 5 different visual designs, 3 different tools. That's the minimum requirements. You can do more than that. You can have more data sets, more visual designs, multiple images of the same design, and more than 3 tools.
So it basically doesn't matter if not that I did that, but let's say if I do 5 different visualizations, let's say 5 different tools, one data set, or 5 different, like let's say diabetes, cancer, CBD, whatever.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct,
I
yes.
combine most of them, like diabetes, cancer, all that stuff.
Yeah. Slice and dice. Another question?
Does it have to be 5 different types of visualization? So let's say I can't do twice treemap for part 1.
Correct, correct, yeah. So a tree map is a visual design, and you can't use that design more than once if you want full points. Does that answer the question? Yeah. The excitement is really high today. I feel the excitement. It's fun. I guess everybody's also excited because we missed the last Friday's lecture and everybody's like, yes, we're back. Hi Bob, just wondered if it matters what tool we use to generate our visualizations. For example, I am able to generate a tree map using Google Docs, but would prefer I use a specialist tool. IBM Watson was used in the example in the assignment. Thanks. So no, actually it doesn't really matter what tool you use. So actually if you Google this, and this is what the student is referring to, I believe, you'll find that Google has, a viz package, right? Line charts, bar charts, column charts, bar charts. Look, area charts. More stepped area chart, combo chart. Don't use a combo chart because it's just a line chart and a bar chart. Bubble chart you can't use, but you can test them out. You get those working first. Look, candlestick chart would count, pie chart would not count, a gauge might count, intensity map would be fine, a geo chart. And there's more. There's a tree map, that's fine, but it has to be hierarchical, right? And so on. Look, a Sankey chart, that's nice. So yes, that's allowed. Google Viz API is allowed. Dear Robert, I have 2 questions. In our assignment, are we allowed to reuse a visualization on another data? Tree maps for one set in a different app, tree maps for another. I'm trying to avoid that in case I get stuck. I'd like to know if this is allowed. So it's not allowed for part 1. So part 1, you can't use tree maps twice and still get full credit, even if it's 2 different tools. But you can use tree maps for part 1 and then again in part 2. Okay. Did I already answer that one? Okay, so no, I don't think I answered this one yet. Hi Bob, for assignment 1, I would like to show population broken up into NHS regions, CCGs, and practices as a tree map. I would also like to show a cartogram on the map of the UK, so just showing size of patients in each of the NHS regions geographically. Would 2 visualizations of the same observation count as the 2 out of 5 needed for part 1, despite not being 2 unique observations? So the short answer is no. You need 5 unique observations for part 1. However, for this particular case, I think, I haven't seen the results, but I think it should be possible to make 2 distinct observations from one visual design, for example. There's no reason why that's not possible. Right? Another student pointed out there was a redundant data set in my list of data sets, so I have deleted one of the redundant ones, just so everybody knows, on the CS web server. And here's another one. Regarding your data set kidneydisease.xls, there are some rows with a -1% value in blank and lower and upper confidence intervals. I've taken a look on the indicator metadata worksheet, but it doesn't provide any definitions on it. I guess it means there is no data on that CCG. Or is that related to the warning from HSCIC about the coding issue around episode as mentioned in the indicator metadata? May I have further explanation about it? So the answer to this question is I don't know. I don't know what that -1 means. However, there is a person that does know, or there are multiple people that do know, and they are listed in assignment 1. There's a contact at Public Health England. There's a name and an email address that you can actually contact. You can also, this is really ambitious, you can pick up the phone and call them. So there's a contact number, email address, everything. You could go there in person, that would be crazy. But all the contact information from Public Health England is there. It's given in assignment 1, although the phone number is not given. But there's a phone number that you can look up and call as well. So it's possible to find out the answer to that. Any other exciting questions about assignment 1?
Can I ask you 3 questions?
Say it again?
Can I ask you 3 questions?
3 questions? Yeah, sure.
Because I've never submitted any paper, the physical copy.
Okay,
Do
yep.
that?
Actually, it says it in assignment 1 where to do that. It says the location and everything. However, there's another student that pointed out they couldn't find the Dropbox for this module. So if that's true, you would submit it to Haley Elliott, who is the student secretary, and I believe she's definitely on the first floor of the Faraday Tower, and I believe it's room 123. So you can submit it to her in person. Right?
Okay, so 2 more questions.
Yep. Yep.
Another one, I asked you in the email, but you said you didn't understand the question. You know how CCGs, in each CCG, there's several practices that belong to one CCG, but CCGs also belong to regions. So I've noticed that some data, when you visualize it with CCGs, it's way too crammed. So I grouped CCGs into regions and visualized it that way. That looks better. That's acceptable, right?
Yes, that's acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just one last question. I was thinking, what should we take into account? How do people lose marks? What do they lose marks on? Because we probably made mistakes already.
Yeah. People lose marks on submitting things that aren't allowed, like bar charts, line charts, bubble charts, and there's another one, I think, pie charts. What? Combo charts. That's a common way to lose points. Another common way to lose points is submitting a tree map that contains no hierarchy. It says in the assignment, don't do it. And I've said it like a few times, but even when it's printed in black and white, people still do it.
So that would be, for example, what would be no hierarchy if I just showed, let's say, just 1 year with CCGs, but that's not hierarchy.
You need to group the lowest, the leaf nodes of the tree map into some sort of a group. So every leaf node has to have a parent. So an example would be the leaf nodes of NHS practices, and their parent node are CCGs. And in your other example, the parent node of CCGs could be regions. That would be like a dream tree map hierarchy.
But I did years, and in each year there's CCGs. That is hierarchy.
Yep, that's a hierarchy. I would swap it around though. I would have CCG, then years underneath. But you could do year and then CCGs. That's also a hierarchy. Tree maps, if anybody's played with any of the tree map software, some of them let you actually flip the hierarchies and rearrange the levels and all that stuff interactively, dynamically, and all that.
I think it's really more interesting to see each year how it changes, so it increases with each year usually.
Yeah, but I think you would see that better if CCGs were at the top level. But yes, it would be very good. It would be very good to see the time-dependent behavior of the population. The excitement is overwhelming. Another question?
Do you just state like one unique observation?
Yep, one unique observation is the requirement. However, you're welcome to make more statements, like more than one. Wait a second, I want to pass out the attendance register before I forget. I remember there was one lecture where we almost didn't have a lecture because there were so many exciting questions. Is it Emily? What's your name again? Oh, it's it's like Kasha or something?
Yeah, that's right. One is about hierarchy. Because I make the hierarchy on the number of population with a certain type of disease, and then I would create a tree map with all the CCG names based on it, and then using the heat map, I could say in range of age, let's say between 0 and 4, there is more people in this or this place with this sort of disease. Is it enough? Is it good enough? Or do you want something more complex? Or you wouldn't say it's hierarchy exactly?
It sounded pretty complicated what you were describing, but another good example of a hierarchy would be for a CCG. We discussed having years as a level of the hierarchy underneath CCG. Or, for example, for a given CCG, maybe the disease, or like disease at the top, then CCGs, and then years, something like that. You know.
What if I have one disease, because I do it on my data set, and then I have all my CCGs,
yes,
and based on, let's say, males in 2010, is the distribution of the hierarchy, how many people in different places, and then in the map I would say some males between 0 and 4 have problems with this or this according to the disease.
It sounds okay. I would have to see it to be absolutely sure, but it sounds okay. And also, it's confusing if you say the term heat map, like if we're talking about tree maps. We don't usually say heat map.
Okay, you don't let me know. I was just thinking about color.
Yes, color map.
Easier.
Color map is the phrase I think you're looking for.
Okay,
yes. Any other exciting questions? The excitement is riveting. It's a fun assignment, isn't it? Name? Oh, very good.
Are you fine with circle packing? Circle packing.
Circle packing.
Yeah.
Bubble charts, you mean?
It's not like a typical bubble chart because it focuses in the center and it looks more like a spiral rather than a bubble chart, but it is closer.
It looks like a bubble chart.
Can you show what bubble chart is, what you mean? Because from what I googled, what you say is not a bubble chart. I've done the same.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. So if it doesn't show anything that a bubble chart, it has to show something more than a bubble chart. I'm sorry, a bar chart. If I can convert your bubble chart into a bar chart very trivially, and it doesn't show there's no difference between them, that's what we're trying to avoid. I know everybody loves bubble charts. They're the easiest thing. They're just like bar charts. That's why everybody wants to use them so desperately. But just be very careful. If you say, no, this is called a circle chart, and I think it looks like a bubble chart, you might not get the full credit.
Is this not acceptable?
Okay, that one's fine actually, because it has a higher up. That's a higher
That's
up.
what she's talking about.
Yeah, are you sure?
This is what you're talking about.
No.
No, I don't think, that's not usually what students are talking about. I like that one.
I'll submit.
If you have a special hierarchical circle chart or a hierarchical bubble chart, now that would be acceptable. Yeah, but this is my claim, this is the same thing as a bar chart. That's my claim. Trees have a hierarchy, if you do it correctly. You can submit that and take a chance, but the chances are you will get full points. If you want full points, another question. Okay, let's do box and whisper. Yes, box and whisper. They're not very exciting, but yes, those are allowed. Area charts are allowed. Yes, area charts are allowed. Just read here. If I said bubble charts are okay, everybody would submit a bubble chart, and then I would just die. Like, if you want to like kill me with psychic murder, then everybody can submit a bubble chart.
So this you mean is not acceptable?
No, that's not a standard bubble chart either. That is not a standard bubble chart either, because the position of the bubbles is important. And actually that would be okay. That's more like a scatter plot, what you showed me. So if I Google bubble chart and then I click on images, here's a bubble chart. There's a bubble, this is a bubble chart. I wouldn't recommend submitting something like this. Because, I can easily convert this to a bar chart. This does not show any more information than a bar chart, right? So, it happens to be one of the most simple visual designs, the simplest. However, this one would be okay, because it has two axes, and the axes encode additional variants. So that would be okay, actually. Does that help, I hope? Here's another one. This one would be okay too, but this is not a standard bubble chart because it has two axes that encode useful and valuable information. The reason this one is not interesting is because the position of the bubbles does not convey any useful information. The bubbles are packed into a space, and their position is not a function of the data, it's the function of a layout, a packing algorithm. Now, why would anybody use this in the first place? It's because it's compact. Like, it conveys information in a compact space. More compact than a bar chart, probably. Maybe. I'm not sure, actually. Any other amazing questions? Kasha?
Yes, if you don't like the layout and basically how visual it is, presentations, its visualization looks like, then I guess you want to get into word cloud thing as well.
So say the last sentence again.
Word cloud.
Word clouds.
Yeah.
Actually, word clouds are not prohibited. They are okay. Word clouds are okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that exciting?
Oh, yeah.
Taking what would be kind of fun is taking one of those huge spreadsheets and putting the whole thing into a word cloud and see what would happen.
Yes, it's only me because I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Then you have the challenge of deriving that unique observation maybe. But that is allowed. The word cloud is allowed. Yes.
But isn't word cloud like bar charts? Instead of bubbles or bars, you have words like they are grouped by size random.
So word clouds have two more properties. One is you can input text data or natural language data, which is unusual. You can't do that with a standard bar chart.
You can just put the title on the bubble, it's the same thing.
There has to be some sort of a conversion process. So a standard bar chart takes only numbers as its input, except for the titles and the categories. The other thing that the word cloud encodes is frequency. So how often a term appears. Right? And that's a little bit like a histogram, which is also a little bit like a bar chart. Anyways, the fact that it's words makes it a little bit more interesting. I will not kill myself if somebody submits a word cloud. I might actually find it interesting. Nobody ever does that, actually. So it's okay. I had to ban the bubble charts because everybody submitted a bubble chart. They figured out, oh, it's the same thing as a bar chart. And then everybody submitted them, and they're so boring. Any other exciting questions? Good, good. Okay, if you have exciting questions, you can interrupt me at any time and let us know what they are. It didn't get any warmer in here, did it? It's always very cool.